Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Gonzii and today we are going to be reacting to another casual geographic banger, bro. This time called Why You Should Never Trust a Pelican with Your Child. Now, I'm not an expert nor a father, but why would you leave your child with a pelican? And why do you have a pelican? Those are questions that need to be answered, boy. But without further ado, let's watch this thing, mate.
I don't know if this is the most disturbing, but this is definitely top 5. This is Malgas Island, and up to 60,000 of these birds called Cape Gannets will nest here. But don't worry, I'm gonna get to it. So normally these parents take turns, with one going out for food with the other staying behind to guard the chick. But because of overfishing, oftentimes both parents will go out for food, leaving the chick all alone on the island. Which wouldn't be a problem if they didn't know that. Because groups of these white pelicans will fly over to the islands and then walk around looking for any unsupervised gannet chicks, so that they can grab the baby birds and eat them alive while they're still struggling. And sometimes they'll just push the parents out the way and then swallow the newborn children right in front of them. It somehow gets worse. Those same pelicans will fly back to their nest and vomit the half-digested, recently murdered baby birds for the pelican chicks to eat. And because Cape Gannets have no real way to defend themselves, pelicans have no
Pelicans are a garbage compactor, bro.
Don't have teeth. Those chicks' last moments were spent suffocating while being digested alive by stomach acid, only to get regurgitated and eaten twice. Dinosaurs never went extinct. They just rebranded with feathers. No penguins will sell themselves, but like, in that way? Let me explain. This is an Adelie penguin. If you hear a messed up penguin fact, it usually involves them. So basically, Adelies build their nests out of piles of pebbles, which means two things. Pebbles are a penguin's form of currency, and the penguin with the most pebbles is considered the most attractive. So female Adelie penguins will offer their bodies to males in exchange for a rock, and yeah, it's exactly what I'm making it sound like. Sometimes the female will give it up to a male in exchange for a pebble, even though she already has a mate waiting for her back at the nest. Scientists can't really confirm this, but it's believed the females do this so that if their mate gets packed up by a seal or something, they still have a backup. Doesn't stop there, because a lot of times the female will pretend to be interested in the single male, and right when the male thinks he's about to get it in, she takes the pebble and runs back to her actual mate. The best example I could think of is if you buy a girl a drink only for her to take it and bring it over to her mate on the other side of the bar. Basically, these penguins pull a Cardi B, but, you know, without the Cosby.
Wow.
And before you feel bad for them, just remember that male Adelies have been known to have relations with injured females, chicks, penguin corpses, and one even hooked up with the ground.
Damn.
To completion. Penguins are dressed as Wall Street brokers, and they have the moral compass of one too.
What the fuck is that?
Ocean of f***ed up place, ain't it? That is Nermedia, but it's also called the ribbon worm. That thing that it's doing that's probably gonna get me a guideline violation. Yeah, that's how they eat. So that white stuff is proboscis, and they'll basically shoot it out over a crab or a clam or whatever this thing eats. Also, it gets trapped and can't escape. Some types even inject a paralyzing toxin so their prey can't move, and then they'll add digestive juices so they can digest their prey before it's even in their mouth. And then this worm sucks its proboscis back in while also pulling its prey towards its mouth. It's like Spider-Man with a vor fetish. And some worms can shoot out a web that's 30 times their body length. That's like a man eating with a 180-foot tongue with hands. So yeah, that's not a worm enjoying December 1st. That's not a worm shooting out its liquid daycare. That is a worm trying to eat a man. The more you know.
Horrifying sound of a woman becoming a hashtag.
What's the animal, dude?
The biggest mistake you could make is going to save that woman. Because that's not a woman getting turned into a headline. That was a female mountain lion in heat. Female cougars will often make these shrieking, blood-curdling screams when they're in estrus. It's like their Batman signal for getting laid. Answering that call when it's not for you is how you meet Batman's parents. Of course, I'm exaggerating. Cougars are way more afraid of you and will probably go the other way if you pull up on them. What won't go away are the bricks in your pants.
Bro, wait. Look how jacked the mountain lion is, bro. Bro, I can see the striations, my boy. Look at the neck on that. Look at the chest, boy. Sheesh.
Be a hero and make eye contact.
Boy, being getting gym, bro.
I know it's not related, but I'm still gonna mention.
Damn.
Tigers have been known to imitate the sounds of their prey to fool them into a false sense of security before they turn them into a hashtag.
That's facts, bro, and that's terrifying.
About it, this is a margay, and they do the exact same thing with baby monkeys. Now, I'm not saying the cougars do it on purpose, but I am saying that nature is a bitch like that. Also, I forgot to mention that cougars tend to scream while mating. So if you're ever alone in bed and hear a woman on a Tinder date with Joe from you, don't worry. It's just cougars getting more action than you.
Damn. Wait, that's a bear, isn't it? Oh, hey, it's a cougar, okay.
Okay, so here's why you and your dog shouldn't never go swimming with a kangaroo. One of the kangaroo's biggest ops are dingoes, and dingoes often hunt by chasing their prey into ditches.
Kangaroos are yoked,
members
bro.
of the pack. It's like their version of catching you in an alley. Some dingoes in Central Australia will even chase kangaroos into fences where the dingoes know they can't escape. So whenever a kangaroo is being pressed by a predator, they'll instinctively head to the nearest body of water and then go in where it's deep enough for their arms to be underwater. I call this the f around and find out.
Fuck around
if the
and find
dingo
out.
follows it,
Look
then
at
the
that.
kangaroo will take its arms and force it underwater until it gives up or gives out. And since they've had years of practice, kangaroos are really good at it. The problem is the generational trauma of being constantly hunted by dingoes means kangaroos are born racist towards anything that even looks like a dog.
Thanks.
Which is why kangaroos will attempt to reverse baptize any dogs that mess around and get too close. And if you go in trying to be a hero, they'll happily take the 2-for-1. That's of course assuming he doesn't just kick the soul out you first. Now a lot of prey animals will run towards water to avoid problems, but this kangaroo is the problem. This isn't an invitation, it's an offer to get Uber to your ancestors. You know, f around and find out.
And no creature gives a New Yorker a heart attack.
What the fuck is that thing?
It's a bat, bro.
It's got the fucking virus!
I both can and cannot fully explain what that is. It's called a colugo, but it's also known as a flying
it's not a
bird,
bat.
even though there's somehow 2 lies in that one name. They don't fly, they glide.
Ugh.
They spend most of their lives in their trees. They basically just airdrop themselves from branch to branch. And it's not a lemur. Lemurs are primates.
You
They're
look
related to
so
gorillas,
lost.
chimps, and
Look at this,
fly,
bro.
they glide. And since they spend most of their lives in their trees, they basically
Bro,
just airdrop
why
themselves
did you
from
look
branch
so lost?
And-
Look. Look at that, bro. My boy does not know where he is, mate.
It's
Jesus.
not a lemur. Lemurs are primates, making them related
Christ,
to gorillas,
man.
chimps, and us. But this thing isn't a primate.
Not a
Whoever named it
lemur.
would probably name an atheist faith. They use that stretchy membrane called a patagium to glide like flying
They're
squirrels. and they
ugly,
can travel
bro.
650 feet without stopping. That's 200 meters or a little bit less than 2 football fields. But it's not a flying squirrel. There was a time people thought they were just God's rough draft of a bat, but colugos aren't related to bats either. And if you
Okay.
look at the order they're in, Dermotera, they're the only living members. It's like pulling up to a family reunion and finding
Bro,
out
it's
you're the
so
only one.
lost.
And because their entire personality involves flying, they're too slow and awkward to survive on the ground. And for an animal that lives in the trees, they're pretty mid-climbers. They're so bad at life that being nocturnal is probably the only thing keeping them alive. Mother colugos will carry their babies everywhere for the first 6 months, which made some people believe it was a marsupial, like some type of deformed air koala.
Bro,
but
what
it's
the
none
hell?
of those things.
What?
So what the f is it? Well, scientists performed genetic analyses on them, basically a 23andMe for a flying carpet, and it turns out their closest evolutionary relative are primates. It's pretty
What?
much the closest you can get to primates without actually being one. Which means this dehydrated Dollar Tree chipmunk is more related to you than it is to an actual squirrel or bear.
Ew.
The more you know. Are you having a good day today?
Yes.
Well, don't, because we just found out there's venomous sharks swimming in the Thames River in London. You know sharks, right? You know those things with a built-in GPS that can smell blood from another area code? With a bite kinda like getting hit with a truck with teeth.
Yeah.
Nature said it gave them venom and decided to make it our problem. Now, as a rule, you'd normally expect this kind of nonsense from Australia, so the fact that it's in London makes me really think it's God giving us the middle finger. The worst part is, we really shouldn't be surprised. Sharks came up while Saturn was single because they're
And
only
Nico Bryan.
with most dinosaurs and trees. I'm not even surprised they evolved venom, I'm just surprised it took me this long to find out.
Yeah.
Now, to be fair, the sharks are taupe sharks. And taupe sharks are about 6 feet long, 80-something pounds, and they've never been known to attack a human. But they also found venomous spur dog sharks. And they have venom-producing spines that can cause pain and swelling in humans. Apparently, in 2009, a man was sent to the hospital after one of these sharks allegedly impaled his forearm with a spine.
Oh.
And there's even more venomous sharks out there, like the dogfish and smoothhounds. Now, the chances of a venomous shark being in your obituary are very, very low. You're actually more
But not
likely to
zero.
get turned into a hashtag by a vending machine or a very pissed off ex. But we can now add sharks to the list of animals that are venomous for no reason. Here's why hanging out with flamingos can be really bad for your health, and shout out to this comment for reminding me. Because African lesser flamingos will flock in lakes like Natron in Tanzania. And some of the water they choose to stand in is so toxic that if you tried to wade in it for 2 minutes, it would strip the skin off your legs completely.
Ooh.
Because these are soda lakes, and because minerals like sodium carbonate flow into it, the lake ends up becoming overly basic and extremely salty. I hate chemistry, I had to retake it freshman year, and I should be entitled to compensation, so I'm not even finna lecture y'all. But basically, low pH means something's acidic, high pH means it's really basic.
Yes.
And because these lakes can have a pH of nearly 11, the water's so caustic that it burns the flesh of humans and animals that are not already adapted to it.
Damn.
And if it gets in your eyes, you'll be like Stevie wondering when the lights went out.
Wow.
Flamingos can survive in hypersalinated basic lakes because they have tough skin and scales on their legs to prevent burns. Also, apparently they can drink boiling water without flinching.
Ooh.
Why even do all that? Well, flamingos get bodied by everything, including other birds. So to avoid getting harassed, they live in a place so inhospitable that nobody goes through the effort of following them. It's like if Ben Simmons left Philly to go play in Utah. Utah not even a bad team, but when's the last time you went to Utah for spring break? Never. And
I never went to Utah.
I swear I wasn't gonna make this video, but Buddy triple dared me. So here's how f***ed up Lion King would be if it was a little more accurate. This might have been the end of the movie. Baboons will kidnap unattended lion.
That's actually facts, bro.
Lion. Obviously, I know Rafik is a manjul. You can delete the comment you're probably typing, but primates have a natural hatred towards big cats like lions and leopards. Which means this scene would have sent the movie to the credits and turned Simba into initials on a Twitter bio. As the new head male, the first thing Scar would have done was murder Simba and Nala, since when new males take over, they destroy whatever cubs the previous male left behind.
Top of the list.
Which leads me to the next fact: Simba and Nala would have been half siblings because they would have had the same father.
Yes.
Most lion prides only have one male that's allowed to mate. Sometimes the lionesses get something on the side.
Mufasa was Nala's father as well.
Which means this scene would have required a lot of therapy.
A lot of therapy.
Family therapy. Meerkats are one of the most murderous animals in the world, and
come on, bro.
Joke. There was a study done to see what mammal commits the most murders in the animal
they
at the top.
killed a lot.
Yeah. About 20% of meerkat deaths were caused by another meerkat.
Yep.
And now we know why Timon was on his own. Also, Simba would have been kicked out of the pride regardless. Because where lionesses spend their lives in the pride they were born in, males typically leave after 2 to 3 years, and it's usually the head male that drives them out. Which means Mufasa would have likely been the one showing Simba. Am I overanalyzing a kid's movie?
Yes.
Maybe, but he dared me, so it's not my fault.
So there we have it, another banger by Casual Geographic, bro. Dude just does not miss, bro. What we learned: do not leave your kid with a pelican, and also don't go to the water where flamingos are at. And also, Lion King, if it was in real life, would have ended in the first 30 seconds. So yeah, I think we covered all bases. Yeah. Guys, before you go, don't forget our interviews on the channel, man. Come on, bro. Keep God first, as always. Drink water, go tell somebody you love them, and if you're here, you know what to do, man. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. My name is Gonzii, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.